Hello and welcome to another Dragonstorm Studios video. We've been looking at content creators on YouTube for Magic the Gathering for the past couple of weeks now. We've looked at several different personalities, and one which I am remiss for not having covered yet is Jim Davis. And Jim Davis is one of the first YouTubers I was directed toward when I first started going to LGSs to play Magic the Gathering, mostly when it came to draft and standard. When I asked about different people I might look up to find out more about those formats, because I was very, very casual up until that point, Jim Davis was the name I was given to look up and to find out more from. And boy, did I ever. Very eloquent, very, very dry humor, and just a great content creator. And over the years, I've definitely neglected his channel, so I'm gonna be definitely going back and revisiting some of his work for sure. But that was 3 years ago now that I first started watching his videos and learning more about Magic the Gathering. So today's video is almost like a reverse reveal video. Instead of actually revealing the drawing to you that I've done, talking from the future, of Jim Davis, I'm actually going to show you how I get started on a portrait. And for today's video, as you can see here, I've got Goblin Ringleader on the left from Magic Core Set 2019 artwork. I find I just like that one better. And I've got a nice big space here to draw a Jim Davis next to that Goblin, as if they're kind of standing back to back. So I've done my research. I found a picture of the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, wearing a Rangers jersey, it looks like. But I'm from Toronto, so I know all about losing. I got nothing really. I've got no words to say about that. And I'm going to be drawing him, and I've chose this picture because he almost has his arms crossed like the Goblin does. Jim Davis plays a lot of Goblins. I'm going to have him kind of back to back, side to side with the Goblin there. So when I get started on a drawing, I have to kind of think out what I'm going to do first. So I've got the Goblin there on the left. Being right-handed, I don't want to be drawing the Goblin over here and then having my hand in the graphite. Because the minute I put my hand there, I'm going to get some wonderful graphite on my hand, and that will smudge all over the place, as it already has here and here. So I often will just grab some scrap paper to put underneath my hand while I'm working. Despite that fact, why make life more difficult than you have to? I've got the Goblin there on the left. I've got some space at the top here. If Jim Davis is going to be over here, I've got some room left over. My first thought was a cavern of some sort, as if they were in some sort of dragon, in some sort of goblin kingdom. They could have been down in Goblin Town. But then I realized that goblins in MTG might not live underground, so I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But when I start, I'm going to begin with a circle. And a lot of people will try to make this circle perfect. I'm not going to, because I'm actually not using the circle for very much. I'm using it more for scale than anything else, to get a sense of the proportion here. Because I want that circle to be roughly the same size as the circle I started with the Goblin, which you might be able to just make out over here. I've left some of my guidelines in so you can still see them with the Goblin there. Once I've got that circle there, I can kind of use the top half of that circle for the top of the head, and his head is tilted a little bit, so it kind of comes down. I'm going to draw the cheekbones and then the jaw. So it kind of comes down like this, long jaw and a fairly wide rounded chin. And if it turns out that I've got his head tilted a little bit more than the picture, that's actually okay. I can work with that. But I just want to get a sense of the different shapes involved. You know, really, really basic though, not worrying too much about it. I'm then going to create an axis line. The axis line divides an object, in this case the head, in half. You can kind of see that the axis line is tilted a little bit. So I'm a little bit off, but pretty close. I can make adjustments as I go. The important part through all of this is that all of my pencil lines are very light, so I can very easily erase them if I need to. I've got an axis line going vertically. I'm going to create an axis line going horizontally next. I'm going to line up. I use my pencil a lot for this. I'm going to lean very close to the microphone for a moment, so I apologize if I get louder. I will be very aware of that. And as we can see, his head, again, is tilted. Ooh, I'm not getting to the camera now. His head is tilted a little bit. I'm going to try and get that same tilt drawn in there for where the eye line is. And the eyes are roughly the halfway point of the head. So that first line was a little bit too high. But again, I'm drawing nice and light so I can easily fix errors. In a previous video, I've talked about how to pick up little bits of eraser so you don't smudge your work. If I just kind of dab my eraser on the page, I pick those up without, smudging or messing up my work there. So again, I think maybe let's try that again. I think maybe I'm a little bit off there, but that's okay. I can adjust that right now by changing that middle axis line, making it a little more, well, I guess a little less diagonal in this case. And then that just affects the rest of the head shape as well. Now, very often use my pencil to help me with the angles. That angle actually is okay. And then it curves into the chin there. All right, so that's essentially how I get started. The reason why I don't want to talk too much about facial features right now is because of where all of the different parts of the page have been utilized. That didn't come out right. Based on where I've put things on the page so far, Jim Davis's head is fairly small compared to where I normally draw faces and portraits. I usually draw quite a bit larger. So this is going to be a little bit smaller, and it'll be harder to get that conveyed in this video. So I'm going to save that for next time. I will try and get a bit more of Jim's body features in there, just to kind of show how I would get started with that. Shoulders, one's tilted downward like this. Having his arms crossed like that, just naturally our shoulders want to slope a little bit. And then the other shoulder kind of comes down like this. So that sword that the goblin has might overlap that shoulder just a little bit here. But again, being aware of the angles that I'm going to need in the drawing. And this is why very often people will say, there's no math involved in art. I am going to respectfully disagree with that. I think there are a lot of different ways that math exerts itself in artwork, including proportion and angles. Now, I actually don't know if this is an older or a newer picture. So I believe he's got shorter hair now, though, from what I remember seeing recently. So I think this will accurately portray him at the moment. But we can kind of see it already taking shape as I start adding more lines here and there to the picture. Just kind of being aware of the different shapes involved. A lot of what drawing really is just seeing. We often look at things, but we don't see them. So when drawing an ear, for example, people will try to rush to get the shape of the inner ear done as quickly as possible, but everyone's ear is a little bit different. So it's important to kind of look for those differences that make us individuals. And then we can just make out his other ear. And again, head's tilted a bit, so it's at an angle. And we only just see a little bit of it because of that tilt. All right, so I'm going to post a picture of what the drawing looks like when I'm finished right now. And then you can really see the difference over time that detail makes. And I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope that maybe you got inspired to try your own drawing out. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to give it a like, share it with your friends if you think they'd enjoy it, and subscribe if you want more content such as this. Thank you so much for watching, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.